Hey guys, so Britt Riderly back with another poetic presence. So at the end of 2020, here we find ourselves at the end of this crazy year. And I think it's always important to be in a constant state of reflection and self-awareness. That becomes easier at the end of a year and at the beginning of a year. And I think that we shouldn't move into 2021 without some serious reflection on what 2020 has been. And it's been a lot of things for each of us. And so, from my own reflective practice, I wrote a poem, a letter to 2020. And so, that's what I'm going to share with y'all today. Maybe some of it resonates with you. Maybe it inspires you to write your own letter to 2020 and get some things off of your chest and help you to think about not necessarily a resolution that you want to move into 2021 with, but a particular paradigm that you want to adopt in 2021. And I think we can all stand to always be in the business of perfecting our paradigm. So this is Dear 2020 in Apologetics, after Rudy Francisco. Dear 2020, the people are talking about you, calling you all kinds of names, making you out to be a year of death and disease and disorder and disruption. Basically, they're making you a bad she wants the D joke, aggressive and unfunny and ignorant of when to quit. You gotta speak up. Tell them you've taught them patience and prayer and power. Say, man is a worshiping creature, and we can't afford to give it up to anger and fear and resentment any longer, so find something to praise instead. Praise. Though it ain't easy. Though we're mourning. See, I know lamentation. Know the wail and the stillness and the hunger for things you cannot have because they don't exist anymore. She doesn't. But 2020, you can't let it end at the cry. Can't conclude on a blue note like all you've birthed is sorrow. No joy, nothing resistant to lockdown and social distance. Tell them about the time made for meditation. About the God you revealed, omnipotent enough to stop the world, merciful enough to move us through the world, stopping molasses slow with the promise of sweet some come. About the gratitude you taught, the goals you forced us to make when we couldn't make anything else. The glorious way we broke them. The dreams we could suddenly invest in again. 2020, I'm not saying you haven't been mean, been harsh, been abusive and withholding. I'm just saying you haven't been something brand new, as they say. We've had sickly, bloody, poor years. Heck, 2008 alone seems like it just gave way 2 cycles ago. 2009 gifted us its own kind of cough. And 2012. Some of us are still shaking, quaking about how easily a Black boy can de-exist, how okay that is, no matter how loud the chant echoes or tries to affirm that his life matters. How ours does too. Even when the protest echoes against 1950s whistling about how things don't change too much here. And we can't blame the year for that. Years like 2016. I won't say anything else. I could go on. I could go back. You've got a strong case, 2020. You're definitely not the worst we've seen. Maybe not even the loudest, but superlatives make people feel safe. Makes sense, and we need that because you're not the worst, but I'm sorry, you're no one's favorite. You're gonna have to live with that. The people need a fall guy, a sacrificial lamb, and all my poetic prowess can't keep it from being you. So when you go the way of your forebears, as you pass from now to then, lay the mantle at 2021's feet, warn your sister. She's looking a lot like our Savior, our Messiah, and we know how this world treats those. No way we don't. No way we won't end up having to crucify her with the others if all we learned from our time with you is that you are the problem, the aggressor. And we just have to be patient enough to wait you out. And I could almost stomach this very Act 2 B-plot emergent fixing things the wrong way beat. I'd take it straight to the head if I thought it'd bring Breonna Taylor back. Give Gianna Floyd her daddy back. But there's so many names like to deafen me, daring me to forget them from the ghost of years past, that I just can't manage to let this ride. So, to the 2020 survivors who have waxed eloquent about the violence pursuant, if you ever catch this anim anywhere but in your rear view, I was one of you. But if this siren year has made us know anything, is that we don't have the time we think we have to call a spade a spade. Black erasure, bigotry by no other name, because it don't smack the same. Our knives are getting too dull to keep up this scapegoat game. We need human flesh on the line that ain't darkened with holy to answer for the tragedy that ambushed this year, exacerbated trials into global trauma. Because a year simply ain't big enough to patsy this. And that won't save 2021 from facing the same charges. So to 2020, you who've known all of this and still let us stand on your neck and spit on your name, bruh, you gotta love yourself more. Help us understand how to take responsibility for our own actions. It's the only way we learn. And that, after all, is the only thing you've ever wanted. The only thing your ancestors ever wanted and hoped would be delivered through your perfect sight before it dims. Look, we'll try, okay? Look, we'll do. Look, we'll say. Look, we'll find. Look, we'll... Look. Sincerely.